So that was part, that was part of the a role of what Uncle Tom used to come in and play with the black slaves. So now, homie, little boys who, by the soon they come off that titty, we winging them away from mama. By the time they 12 years old, they only see mama on the weekend. Yeah, by the time a little boy 11, 12 years old, he don't need to go home to mama on the weekend. Monday through Friday, he needs to be in a man's program. Uh, the little boy that kind of seemed delinquent with behavior problems, uh, we put them in the prison program. But it has to have something to do with some type of training that helps not only elevates his mind but teach him how to work with his hands.
Okay, yeah, and overcoming some degrees of difficulty because overcoming them hardships is where the internal strength, which is actually the strength of a man, that's the essence of a man, his internal strength, not his physical strength, the ability to withstand and endure and not fold.
Yeah.
And nowadays, too many of us aren't willing to endure. Or as soon as something get hard, we look for a way to tap out. We look for a way out.
Well, that come from the coddling of mama. Uh, when you fall off your bike, as soon as you start crying, mama rushing to stop you from crying. Man, let him cry. Yeah, homie. So, we, part of the podcast is guidance above my emotions. We haven't been guided past our emotions. So most little boys can't think past the uncomfortable feeling. Uh, that's where the temper tantrums come in.
Right.
That's where the smacking your lips, the rolling your eyes, because you can't deal with nor think past. It's two different things when dealing with emotions. First, you have to deal with them, process them. Then you have to be able to think past them. So that was part of our resocialization program that we went in. We had things that were called thinking errors. Not only did we have thinking errors, justifying, minimizing, blaming, making excuses, we also had a sheet. We had a sheet that had 100 smiling faces. It had 100 emotional faces on it. Uh, and if you couldn't articulate or you couldn't come up with a word for how you feel, you look at that sheet and you can point at that face. And that face kind of gave you a guide to tell you how you feel. So I mean, we was when I was in the program as a kid that dealt with not just rehabilitation but re-socialization, and they had a lot of part to play with understanding that there's a difference between thoughts and feelings. Uh, yeah, you have a right to your feelings, but your feelings don't make you right. And most people think their feelings make them right because they feel this. So we had to sit down in group sessions at times, homie, and really answer questions that not only dealt with our feelings but also dealt with our thinking process as well. So I learned early on in life how to separate the two.
And
Go ahead. I'm gonna answer the question.
go ahead, dude.
And what I want to say is this here: programs start putting the young kids in uncomfortable situations, so you can start programming them, start to become comfortable. Start putting them in a position to where they need to learn how to go in the kitchen, make food. They need to be put in a position to where they gotta learn how to go out there. You wanna ride the bike, you need to fix the bike. We gotta start back putting them in an uncomfortable situation and take the titty out of their goddamn mouth. Because there's too many of these kids nowadays that got the titty in their mouth. So it's time for the men to come back and start programming the young man into being in an uncomfortable situation and not crying about an uncomfortable situation. Somebody said something to me that I ain't like. Stop crying.
We are operating in a heightened threat environment with expanding protection requirements, and this requires a shift in the secret